Not just that, you got Breonna Taylor, right? She got shot down for a no-knock warrant. She got shot down for all these things. And we always get shot down. We're the only people that you see get shot down continuously, day in and day out.
Right.
Go back to Deuteronomy 28.
Bring it up. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
And because God sent these nations against us, give me verse 48. God sent these nations against us to bring us into this captivity we're in today. Because we didn't want to keep his commandments, his laws, his statutes, our heritage. Read.
Verse 48. Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee.
So we're serving our enemies that God sent against us.
Right.
Read.
In hunger and in thirst.
So who do we serve in hunger? Who do we serve in hunger right now? Do any of our people own McDonald's? Is there anybody that owns Wendy's? Is there any of us that owns Quick Trip? Is there any of us that own any of these places you have to go to get food?
Right.
No, you're gonna find your enemy. This is what this is doing right here. This scripture is describing who our enemies are,
right.
who God sent against us.
Bring it out. And therefore shall thou serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
And in thirst. Who bills us with a water bill every month? Who do we have to go to get water at the grocery stores or whatnot? We have to go to our enemies for these things. We have to go to our enemies for everything that we need. Read.
And in nakedness and in wants of all things.
It said, and in nakedness. Yeah, some of our people got clothing brands. Some of our people own clothing lines. But yet, where they get the raw material to make these clothes?
Right.
We have to go to our enemies still. This is something that God put upon us.
Right.
Because we didn't want to keep his commandments. Read that last part again.
And one of all things.
And it said in one of all things. Hold on. Give me verse 37.
28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
So I said madness and blindness. Right now, we got a sister out here tripping. Our people out here, they're smitten with madness. This is what God did. You're watching prophecy being told before you. You're seeing it right now with your eyes. We're smart with madness and blindness. We're crazy people on this earth.
Right.
We think that it's all right if somebody step on our shoes and we ready to fight them. We think it's all right that we on EBT and welfare. That's madness. Because yet we're supposed to be running this earth. We're supposed to be running this world. Read.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
And astonishment of heart. Give me Romans 13 and 11. Now we don't know who we are. We don't know our nationality. We don't know our heritage. But it's about time that we wake up. Read.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. And that knowing that the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Right now is the time that we need to wake out of spiritual sleep. You need to come back to your nationality and your heritage. What God gave unto us. Our commandments.
Yes.
Go back. Give me verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall bring a sin against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in wants of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he put a yoke of iron upon our neck. Right now, this just describes the enemies that we have to face. The enemies that God sent against us.
Right.
There was only one person that put yoke to iron upon our necks. The so-called Edomites. No, the Edomites. The so-called white man.
That's right.
That's who put yoke to iron upon our necks.
Right.
That's who got us in captivity right now. You got to work in, day out, just to feed your family.
Right.
And who you working for? It ain't nobody that look like you.
Right.
It's the so-called white man on this earth.
Bring it up. Until he had destroyed thee, the Lord shall bring nations against thee from far.
He said, until he had destroyed thee, until we don't know who we are anymore. He took those chains off after we got broken to pieces, spiritually as a people. Not just spiritually, but physically and mentally.
Right.
Read.
49. The Lord shall bring nations against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
It said that God will send enemies to us, as swift as the eagle flies, from the other side of the earth. Because at the time we was in Africa. So where these enemies come from? That's telling you what we're going through right now.
Right.
This is slavery. Only the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans been through slavery on those slave ships. Give me verse 68. All right, read.
All right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So hold on, family. I'm asking a question. We're reading the Bible right now. And then it just said that a group of people will be taken to Egypt on slave ships.
Right.
On slave ships. What group of people on this earth have been on slave ships before? It's only the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans,
That's right.
Read that from the top.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So what does it mean when we say Egypt again? Give me that Exodus 20, verse 2.
Bring it out.
What is that Egypt that it's talking about? Read.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. And I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
It said out of the house of bondage. Bondage is another word for captivity.
That's right.
Or even better, slavery. Something that we familiarize ourselves with, right? Read. Go back.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee out of the land of Egypt into the ship by ships. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By way of, I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So it said that we will be brought into Egypt again by ships, right? That's what it just said. We're reading this out of the Bible. We're reading black history out of the Bible. Black and Hispanic history out of the Bible.
Right.
Because that happened to everybody. That didn't happen to everybody. That only happened to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
What about Christopher Columbus? 1492. He took our people from this land and took them back to where in Spain. That's the same slavery that we all went through.
Right.
They were on slave ships just like us. But yet we hate one another. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
So now we're sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. That's what happened to us. There's only one group of people that happened to. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
So we gave you the problem, but now we also have to give you the solution. Go back to verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So we see the problem that happens. We stop keeping God's commandments. So that's why we're cursed today in this earth, all right?
Right.
That's why we're going through what we go through today. We think that this is normal life, but it's not. This is curses that God put upon his people, all right? So the only way to get out of this is to keep God's commandments. Give me Acts 3 and 19. Now first Matthew 3 and verse 3. No, John 3 and verse 3, my fault. How you doing, sis? How you doing? You doing all right today? You said you blessed and highly favored? Can I ask you a question? What's your nationality?
Native.
You native? So hold on. That being said, why do you call yourself native? Where'd you come in? How long have we been native?
All my life.
All your life, right? What if I told you that was a lie? All these years, you've been told that you were native. You grew up knowing you were native. But yet, what if I told you that God actually calls you something else? That God actually has a name for his children? Because that's not the name that God gave you. That's the name that our oppressor gave unto us, right? You understand? All right, can I show you that in the Bible? Give me Isaiah 65, verse 15 again. So what we're doing is we're showing our people what nation of people that we come from. All right? Read. What's your name again, sis? Brenda? Brenda? Okay, how you doing, sis? How you doing? Chanel? Oh, you want to see slavery in the Bible? I got you. So right now I'm talking to Sister Brenda. Brenda, she's actually so-called Native American. But yeah, I'm showing our nationality in the Bible. Because God doesn't call us Native American. And he don't call us black either. He don't even call us African American. A lot of our grandpas and grandmas, they're actually older than the terms that we call ourselves.
Right.
All right? I'm going to show you. Can I show you that in the Bible, right? And I got you on your question. All right, read.
Isaiah 65, verse 15. And you shall leave your name for a curse.
So it said that we will leave our name, our God-given names, for a curse, all right? Read.
Unto my choosing.
Until my what?
Chosen.
Until his chosen. Because God's chosen people have a name. So now, give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. It said we shall leave our name for a curse, all right? Keep that in mind. That's very important. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
So it said that we shall become astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. So astonishment is what? That's something that somebody see, oh, okay, well, look how far they fallen. Because once before, y'all have knowledge or recollection that we were God's chosen people. Not just God's chosen people, but we were royalty on this earth at a certain point in time, right? So now the other nations look at us and like, wow, look how far they fallen. Because we see how crazy our people act, right? All right, so it says astonishment, proverb, and byword. Proverb is just a wise saying. Like, for example, with black people, they say what? That we like fried chicken and watermelon and Kool-Aid. Right? That's something right there. But then it said also a byword. So a byword is Native American. A byword is African American. Because God calls you these names right here. He calls you Judah and he calls you Gad. That's what God calls you. Have you ever heard that before?
Actually, be Reuben.
So then you'll be Reuben then.
Right.
You'll be Reuben. That's heavy. Because now we're actually identifying with what God calls us and who we actually are according to the Bible. Because we're actually God's children. But yet we don't get taught that. We don't know that. And we don't got no memory of that.
Right.
But that's why God, he sent his prophets to come show you that, right?
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.